Welcome back to one and all in the technical session 2. With the presence of our honorable judges, we start the oral presentation of our papers. Starting, we have our first participant, Ms. Jaya Tiwari, and her topic is Importance of Research in Journalism.
Hello everyone. Today's topic is Importance of Research in Journalism. I, Jaya Tiwari, am the author of the research paper. I would like to credit our professor, Ms. Duhita Joshi. Abstract. Research is the most important and significant part of gaining knowledge. When we talk about research in journalism or media, it mainly focuses on the process of communication and it also examines the relationship among the target audience and the media. It focuses on the social and psychological aspects and effects of different mass media. Its main objective is to get information pertaining to different mass media. It becomes very important for mass media to depend on research results for all the major decisions. Research not only brings out objectivity and accuracy, but also gives useful information in the field of mass media and communication, and especially in journalism. Introduction. Media has not only influenced the thinking, opinion, and perception of human society, it is also considered as one of the vital institutions in democratic structures. Media performs the functions of watchdog. Journalists are people with impeccable common sense. They are trained to find the truth behind what is being portrayed. Common sense often leads them in the right direction. They also need accurate and objective facts to understand and write on issues that are sensitive and of utmost importance. In this paper, we talk about the importance of research in journalism. Literature review. In his article, Amber Robertson talks about the importance of research in journalism. He raises a very simple yet an important question that pretty much needs to be addressed. Why does a journalist care about research? He mentions that in professional world, journalism that creates a difference or makes an impact is measured by actual impact, by the people jailed who are freed, by the criminals who are jailed, by new policies or laws that save lives. Three main journals boast the word journalism in their titles. Media gives us a picture of the world. Media types affect messages, but it's all different now in the digital age. In his article, Fakhar Naveed mentions how important is the presence of research in journalism. Research provides you with all the necessary information in field of your work, study, or operation before you begin working on it. For example, most companies do research before beginning a project in order to get a basic idea about the things they will need to do for the project. Research also helps them get acquainted with the processes and resources involved and reception from the market. This information helps in the successful outcome of the project. He also mentions only through research can new inventions and discoveries come into life. It was C.V. Raman's research that prompted invention of radio communication. Imagine how you would have communicated had Graham Bell not come out with the first ever practical telephone. Forget telephones. What would have happened if Martin Cooper did not present the world the concept of mobile phones? Addicted as we are to mobile phones, we need to understand that all the luxuries and the amenities that are now available to us are the result of research done by someone. And with the world facing more and more crises each day, we need researchers to find new solutions to tackle them. Conclusion. Accuracy is very important in mass media. Research in journalism forms the core aspect in decision making. To sum up, as a mass media student, I feel research plays a very important role in journalism because it's the responsibility of journalists to make sure that correct information is being passed on to the audience. Research gives clarity to a journalist, or for that matter, any mass media student, on what their audience actually wants or what they expect from a journalist. Reference. Exploring the Value of Academic Research in Journalism by Amber Robertson, which was published on September 5, 2012. Second, Research Importance of Research, Aims and Motives by Fakhar Naveed, which was published on 13th of December 2016. Thank you.
Now, I would request Ms. Varda Dalal to present her paper on the topic Social Media Emergence in Market Research.
Hello, my name is Varda Dalal and I am a student of Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College from the class of BAMMC, and I will be presenting my paper on social media's emergence in market research. Now, social media is one of the fastest growing platforms currently, and it is expected to grow even more. In fact, many have said that this is not even its peak, which leads us to the question of how social media is emerging in the field of market research. And basically the practice of gathering historical and real-time data from social media channels to better understand a brand's target market is defined as social media market research. It can be very beneficial for people who are conducting the research and also for those who are participating in it. It can be very beneficial, especially because it has a low cost. It is efficient in the sense that you can reach multiple people at the same time. And it also helps you with reaching your target audience more effectively and your target sample more effectively, of course. It also breaks through the barriers of language in the sense that if you were to conduct a research in the traditional way, it would be very complicated to convey the questions or the technique. If you are explaining it to the participant before or after the research in their native language, it can be very complicated. Whereas through social media, rather, it can be very, very easy and very effective to do. It can also be a boon for those who are responding, in the sense that they do not feel the pressure to answer the questions in a certain way. They do not feel the need to answer in a way that might be pleasing to the researchers. And again, with traditional research methods, it can be very difficult to tap into what the current trends are as they are happening. And there will always be a certain gap and a certain delay that you will sort of get while researching using traditional methods. But in comparison, if you were to use social media to research, to conduct brand research or any other kind of research, you can get instantaneous responses in some cases. And again, it's easier to compile since it's already there digitally, which can again be very effective be very efficient for the researchers. And my review of literature looks at many researchers who are talking about the reasons why social media has emerged in the field of market research as a top contender. Because it is important to first understand why social media is important in the field of market research before we get into the aspect of how it reached this current stage. Again, the field of market research has been impacted by changes in social media, and our communication habits have definitely negatively impacted many classic research approaches, which is why social media has given us an alternative to these methods and has given us an easier and more effective way to conduct the same research with a lower cost and more time efficiency. And again, there are many more people who are on social media today compared to people who would be willing to give to be a part of traditional researches and experiments. And it is much easier to recruit people online and get them to be a respondent or participant in your online survey or online research than it is for researchers to recruit or to select someone for a physical research. Again, the need to find a proper research location is also eliminated because everything happens online on social media. By 2023, the figure of people using internet will reach 3.43 billion. So this is why traditional media has become a less significant way as a communication tool, and which is why the emergence of social media, again, even as a communication tool, has impacted the field of market research. Because since people prefer to communicate more through social media, they're also more comfortable to participate in these researches through social media. And many qualitative researches are being conducted online because participants are very, very comfortable with it, and they do not feel the pressure or the need to respond in a particular way that makes the researcher approve of the answer or what they think the researcher would approve. But however, there has been an issue that has been raised by the American Association of Public Opinion Research, that many people who continuously respond to online surveys tend to have a responder conditioning, where basically they are conditioned to respond in a particular way. And they do that because they're aware that they are being questioned. So this is why they can be an unreliable source, which could again really bring down the reliability and validity of the research. And another ethical according to a survey, according to a research conducted by Thomas and Newman in 2009, there has been an issue which is raised, is that the legality and ethics of our privacy concerning online research is that many of them use privacy policies and terms of service to mine our data, which again can be an invasion of privacy, because many people do not read the terms and conditions and they just accept it. And again, they are not aware of what is happening. So this can be a major breach of privacy. While my review paper does have scope to analyze the subject in greater detail, I wanted to touch base on the basics of why social media is important to the field of market research, and the basics of why social media is important, so that we can then later on further analyze how it deeply impacts the field of market research. And while the positive side of social media's emergence was touched in detail, the negativity and stigma attached to the use of to the use of social media and market research has not been reflected on for, as great in detail, in depth. My conclusion would be that while market research is most closely attributed with structured groups or extremely well-crafted questionnaires that help discover what people think and feel about particular products and services, social media monitoring analysis is far from that controlled setting. It helps researchers and marketers see organic viewpoints and opinions, and they can see data from specific periods, and they can also see real-time interactions happening online, which can be very, very insightful, which again is not exactly provided in traditional research methods. And again, social media has a lot of potential because 80% of individuals with internet connection use social media. So while, yes, social media is emerging very prominently in the field of market research, it does need more regulation to not breach the privacy of the people that it takes data from. Thank you.
Now I would request Ms. Babli Singh to present her paper on the topic Significance of Research in Mass Media.
Very warm welcome. I, Ms. Babli Singh from Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College, is here to talk on topic Significance of Research in Mass Media. I would like to talk about the abstract of the mass media, like what we are going to talk and for what the topic is. Research provides you with all the necessary information in field of your work, study, or operation before you begin working on it. For example, most companies do research before beginning a project in order to get a basic idea about the things they will need to do for the project. Research also helps them to get acquainted with the process and resources involved in reception from the market. This information helps in the successful outcome of the project in the mass media. I would like to talk about the introduction, like why the research is necessary for the mass media and also for the other things. Like I would like to talk about the introduction. A broad definition of the research is given by Godwin Galileo. In the broadest sense of the word, the definition of the research includes any gathering of data, information, and facts for the advancement of the knowledge. Another definition of the research is given by John W. Creswell, who states that research is a process of steps used to collect and analyze information to increase our understanding of the topic or issue. It consists of 3 steps: pose a question, collect a data to answer the question, and present an answer to the question. Research in mass communication and journalism forms a core aspect in decision making, expressing and analyzing of news, views, and information. Media is a very sensitive area as it is connected to the masses. Therefore, care should be taken in the delivery of the message to the masses. Accuracy and objectivity is must in reporting. A story should always be well researched before publishing or airing on TV. In broadest media, different programs are produced to run 24 hours news channel for knowing audience behavior. Audience behavioral research can give an idea to the researcher. A good program is also always a well-researched program. Media practitioner can do their job more effectively if they get to know more about the target audience, which can help them in planning and executing program. Media research is also used in conducting surveys, public opinion, polls, advertising and public relation campaign, which helps in providing perspective to a report. At least 4 major events or social forces have encouraged the growth of mass media research. The First World War, which prompted a need to understand the nature of propaganda. Researchers working from the stimulus response point of view attempted to uncover the effects of mass media on the people. The media at that time were thought to exert a powerful influence over their audience, and several assumptions were made about what the media could and could not do. On one theory of the mass media, later named the hypodermic needle model of the communication, suggested that mass communicators need only shoot messages at an audience, and those messages would produce pre-planner and almost universal effects. The belief then was that all people behave in similar ways when they encounter media messages. We know now that individual differences among people rule out this overly simplistic view. There were many assumptions. That was the first assumption. The first assumption of the World War may not have been explicitly formulated at that time, but they were drawn from fairly elaborate theories of human nature, as well as nature of the social order. Now there were first assumption, second assumption, like contributors, third contributors, fourth contributors. So I would like to, the second contributor was when it was the time 1950s to 1960s. The second contribution of the mass media was at that time. The research in the 1950s and the 1960s say that they were useful in developing ways to persuade potential customers to buy products and services. Consequently, advertisers encourage studies for messages effectiveness, audience demographics and size, placement of advertising to achieve the highest level of exposure, frequency of advertising necessary to persuade potential customers, and the selection of the medium that offer the best chance of reaching the target audience. The third contributing social force was the increasing interest of citizens in their effects of the media of the public, especially on the children. The direct result was an interest and research related to violence and sexual content in television programs and in commercial aid during children programs. Researchers have expanded their focus to include the positive as well as the negative effects of the television. I would like to talk about the fourth contributor. Was at that time which went into the competition among the media for the audiences and the advertising. So the competition among the media for the advertising dollars continued to reach new levels of complexity. The media survival kit today includes information about consumer changing values and taste, shifts in demographic patterns, and developing trends in lifestyle. Audience fragmentation increased the need for trend studies. The segmentation studies, image studies, large research organization, consultant and media owners and the operators conduct research that was previously considered the sole property of the marketing, psychologically and sociologically disciplines. With the advent of increased competition and audience fragmentation, media managers were more frequently use marketing strategies in an attempt to discover their position in the marketplaces. When this position is identified, the medium is packaged as an image rather than a product. Similarly, the producers of consumer goods such as soap and toothpaste try to sell the image of these products because the product themselves are similar, if not the same, from company to the company. These are some pics from the World War I to this modern era we are living. Now we have got the various print media like newspaper, books, magazine, poster, as well as various social media which support mass media. There are very social media examples like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, various social media which influence like common people, like where like television, but television is something like every people knows about it, and every people are more interested towards it, like the old one from the new ones. Everyone watches television. Like social media is for the one who is more into like today modern people, yeah, modern students are more into social media, but the old ones and the new ones, like they both are in television, like the print media or the television, you can see. The conclusion which I get from the research is, like, I feel modern mass media research include a variety of physiological and sociological investigations, such as psychological and emotional response to a television programs, commercial or music played on radio stations. In addition, computer modeling and other sophisticated computer analysis are now commonplace in media research to determine such things as the potential success of television programs, that is, network or syndicated. Once considered eccentric by some, mass media research is now a legitimate and esteemed field. The references of this research were the Hutchinson Pocket Dictionary of Cinema, The New World of Digital Filmmaking. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Babli Singh. Now, I would request Mr. Arya Jain to present his paper on the topic Significance of Research in Filmmaking.
Significance of Research in Filmmaking by Jain Arya Rakesh. Introduction. By presenting the historical approaches to filmmaking from qualitative paradigms and illustrating a variety of contemporary research outputs generated through the creative practice paradigms, this paper discusses the unique research insights that can be gained from the position of a filmmaking researcher. Discussing these perspectives helps build disciplined knowledge about filmmaking, as research and includes approaches that strengthen the insider's perspective that a filmmaking researcher can take. Qualitative research about filmmaking. In the 1980s, filmmaking began to be researched using qualitative research strategies, which required an extended and intensive period of involvement in some social movement. Qualitative methodological approaches like ethnography were used to examine the television production of Doctor Who, and Tulloch used what is now a popular research method called participant observation, where the researcher can become fully immersed in the social actor's world with all the levels of personal involvement that this entails. Tulloch's research. Tulloch's research was originally designed to mark the 20-year anniversary of the Doctor Who series. The resulting research is a media studies text called Doctor Who, the Unfolding Text, framed by theoretical trends of the time. It presents a semiotic, narrative, generic, institutional, and audience analysis of Doctor Who as an extensive media text. Thus, Tulloch and Alvarado point out the object of analysis, Doctor Who, is not cherished as a personal possession, domesticated luck for the comforting store of intimate secrets it reveals to the aficionado. Rather, it is deconstructed, made to reveal its other secrets, the material, practices, and discourses which have determined its institution and its unfolding. Research methods. Tulloch's research had three research methods. It combined textual analysis, in-depth interviews with the production crew and personal observations, and field notes based on his ethnographic approach. Along with his observations of the Doctor Who production, Tulloch conducted in-depth interviews with the show's producers, directors, actors, and writers, including Verity Lambert, Peter Davidson, Graham Williams, Terence Dix, Christopher Bailey, Barry Letts, Peter Grimwade, Philip Hinchcliffe, and Douglas Adams. Research methods. Supporters of these research methods and ethnographic methodology would argue that as a researcher, Tulloch was positioned so intimately with and emotionally attached to the social actors he was observing that he had a unique position to discover another's culture, values of practice, and worldview. Blakey argues that when that occurs, the researcher becomes an insider because they conduct research from their view of what constitutes social reality. In conclusion, I would like to say, as pointed out, this insider's perspective can be more acute in some research projects, depending on the filmmaker's research inquiry and the film's narrative. Now, given the range and complexity of these sample projects, it might be more suitable for the discipline to consider adopting a common methodology, one that can be used across both qualitative and creative practice approaches, and one where filmmaking and self-reflection are a part of the method. The samples cited here help build disciplinary rigor that strengthens the research perspectives for future filmmaker researchers. This rigor is important as it contributes to more accurate knowledge and understanding of the filmmaker's research perspective. Thank you.
Thank you to our honorable judges and the participants. With this, we conclude with our technical session 2. Thank you.